Welcome to this introduction to business models. My name is Paul Johannesson, and I will give an overview of business models, why we need them, how they can be used, and what they are made of. The first question to be asked is, why do we need business models? How do they help us? And the general answer to this question is that business models help us to articulate vague business ideas. Often you start with some quite fuzzy business idea like, we want to distribute our music electronically, we want to outsource our ICT support, we want to form a joint venture with a movie-making company. These are all fine starting points, but in order to realize a business idea, you need to make it clearer, more explicit, and more precise. And there are several reasons why clarity, explicitness, and precision will help in realizing a business idea. First, a business idea can never be realized by a single individual. Several people, often from different organizations, need to come together to implement a solution. And for doing so, they need a common understanding. They need to look at the idea in the same way, and they need to agree on how to achieve a solution. A business model is an effective instrument for building this common understanding, as a graphical model makes ideas concrete and visual. Secondly, a business model can be used for analyzing and evaluating a business idea. The profitability of the business idea can be analyzed, as well as its risks and other consequences. Changes in the business idea, for example introducing new actors, can also be analyzed. Finally, articulating a business idea by means of a business model provides a basis for developing ICT solutions, including business processes and IT architectures. A business model should help us to answer certain questions about our business idea and solution. Here are some examples of such questions. Which is our value proposition? What do we offer to our customers? Why do the customers find this valuable? And how do we go about to create this value, and how do we market it? Can we deliver the value ourselves, or do we have to cooperate with other actors? If we have to cooperate with others, we will have a web of actors. How do they provide value to each other? And we can drill deeper into questions about the structure of the values created and delivered, or about the organizational relationships in the network of actors. These are just some examples of questions that a business model should help to answer, but they illustrate that a business model is quite different from other types of models used in enterprise analysis and design. In particular, a business model is different from a process model. Business models should not be confused with process models. A business model gives a high-level view of the activities taking place in and between organizations by identifying agents, resources, and the exchange of resources between these agents. So, a business model focuses on the what in a business. A process model, on the other hand, it focuses on the how. It deals with operational and procedural aspects of business communication, including control flow, data flow, and message passing. In other words, a business model takes a declarative view, while a process model takes a procedural view. Being declarative, a business model becomes a natural starting point for several activities in business, process, and systems design. Here is a list of typical concepts that you can expect to find in a business model. There are actors, such as suppliers and customers. There are objects that can be exchanged, such as resources, also called value objects. There are value propositions that tell why some resource should be bought or should be interesting for another actor. There are value transfers and value exchanges and value ports and economic events that tell how the resources are actually exchanged. There are dualities or reciprocity that tell that in order to get some resource, you have to pay some other resource. There are compensations, there are commitments and contracts that describe how these economic exchanges are to be carried out. There are distribution channels and value chains and capabilities and trust and customer relationships. All these are common notions that can be found in typical business models. When studying a business model ontology, it's important to understand its perspective, whether it is internal or external. An ontology with an internal perspective looks from within a particular organization. It takes the view of that organization and describes its value proposition and how it relates to other organizations. One single organization is in the center and everything else circles around it. In contrast, an ontology with an external perspective looks at a web of organizations that exchange value objects and cooperate with each other. All actors are viewed as equals, and there is no specific actor whose view is the starting point. Instead, the focus is on the entire network formed by the actors. In order to put business models into context, it can be helpful to consider a number of viewpoints of a business idea and solution. The starting point is to look at the business value. This is a task for top management in an organization. The purpose is to determine which partners will contribute to the business solution and how they may benefit from it. Value objects, actors, and value exchanges are in focus. And there exist several languages and ontologies for building business models, like BMO, E3Value, and REA. The next viewpoint is about the business processes that describe how the business is carried out. It focuses on the activities and information needed to realize value exchanges, and it goes into procedural control flow. Typical languages here are BPMN and UML activity diagrams. The third viewpoint is about IT supporting the business solution, how IT can help to realize the business idea. The focus is on hardware and software, both their design and architecture. Languages to be used here include UML and architecture description languages.